Welcome to our Dharma family service, and it's Halloween. So why don't we begin our service with chanting, and we will chant Juseige, and the words will appear on the screen. Namandam, 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 namandam. Kansho segan hishimu jodo shigan fumanzok seifu joshogak gaomunyoko fuidai seshu Fusai shobingu, seifu joshogak, gashi jobutsudo, myosho chojippo, kukyo mishomon, seifu joshogak, ryokujin shonen, Joe Shubongyo Shigumu Jodo Isho Tenin Shi Jinniki Endai Ko Fushomu Saido Shoujo Sankumyo Kosai Shuyakunam Kaihichi egen meshi konmoan heisoku shoakudo tsudatsu zen shumon koso jomanzok iyoro jippo nichigatsu shujuki tenko onpugen Ishukai hozo koseku dokuho jōdai shuchu seppo shishiku kuyo isai butsu gusoku shutoku hon ganne shitsu joman tokui sangayo Nyobutsu mugechi tsudatsu mi fusho gangaku erik toshi saisho som shiganya koka daisen okando kokusho tenin Touchin myoke Namo Amida Butsu 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 Ganni Shiku Doku Byodo Seisai Dohoten Bodai Shin Ojo thank you. Next, we will recite the three treasures. And again, the words will appear on the screen. The three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Buddha Dharma, now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Namanda. Okay, thank you very much. I'd now like to deliver the Dharma message. So I guess one of the questions that's always kind of hard to answer for this Halloween service, and today especially, you know, it's on Halloween, right? Is Halloween Buddhist? Would seem an easy answer. We might say no, but it's more interesting, I think, to think about, you know, how can we think about Halloween maybe from a Buddhist perspective? So the first thing that I thought of, and this is really interesting to me, you know, I've spent now maybe a quarter of my life, even a little bit less, having lived in Japan. I was born there. I went to junior high school and high school, spent a semester in college, went on a few study trips when I was studying for the ministry. But then I lived there in the 2000s when I was going to Ryukoku University, to grad school, to study to become a minister. And that's when I learned. You know how Halloween is kind of considered the spooky season, right? And we, you know, monster movies are on. I've been watching Frankenstein. I watched Svengoolie, which is a Chicago TV show, I think. I watched Them the other day, which is those giant ants. Hammer films, I'm a big fan of. And so that's what time we think of Halloween, and even October, the whole month of October is that kind of feeling. In Japan, it's Obon. So in Japan, Obon is the kind of spooky time of year, which I think is really interesting. And, you know, I didn't know that until I became Buddhist and, you know, was studying. And so I think it's because, you know, the idea that the spirits, your ancestors come back, but also other spirits that are, you know, you may want to be a little more careful about. And that's why they set up separate altars in front of the home so that those spirits won't come into the house. This isn't a Jodo Shinto understanding, but just kind of more general Japanese understanding. So in a way, you know, Halloween has that connection with Obon and that kind of, you know, spooky kind of time, but also to kind of think about, you know, maybe the spirit world, if there is one, is closer, right? Maybe a little more accessible today, or, you know, around this time. As a Buddhist, doesn't bother me, doesn't worry me. Buddhism accepts, I think, a bunch of different levels of reality. And, you know, in classic Buddhism, the six realms with heaven and the heavens, I should say, and the kind of fighting demons, the asuras, humans, animals, hungry ghosts, and hell realms, right? So there are these ideas of these different realms, and maybe they are kind of interpenetrating. And, you know, the hungry ghost realm is here, but we can't see it. And also, you know, Buddhism, when it went into different cultures like Tibet, Japan, China, it didn't say your belief systems are completely wrong and false. You can only believe in us. Instead, it kind of accepts these other belief systems. And a lot of, you know, pre-modern cultures, even now, right? Like Shinto in Japan, for example, believing in a variety of different spirits. So I think Buddhism is kind of open to that, this idea that there are these different spirits and different dimensions might not be the right word, but kind of interesting to think about that, right? Another thing that Buddhism does, though, is it kind of converts those spirits to be protectors of Buddhism, to become Buddhist in a way. So even in India, right, the Hindu gods are seen, Brahma, or are seen as looking up to Buddha, right, and appreciating Buddhism. Same in Japan, same and even in modern times. There's a story of, I think it's Chogyam Trungpa, this Tibetan Buddhist who was setting up a Dharma center in Scotland, and there was supposed to be a haunted hill kind of on the grounds, and so people were warning him about it. He said, no, I'm just going to go and tell him about Buddhism, and he'll want to come and become a protector of this place. So, whether we understand these things literally or not, I know a lot of modern people, postmodern, wherever we are, don't like to accept this kind of thing sometimes. But if we do have an understanding of these things as possibilities, Buddhism, they're not outside of Buddhism. That if it's a tortured kind of spirit, I think in Buddhism we'd feel compassion. And recognizing that maybe these could be allies, actually. So even if we aren't talking about the spirit realm, I think even Halloween and being able to put on costumes and taking on another identity is kind of neat to think about from a Buddhist perspective. Recently, I've been talking about this idea, and it's going to be in the December Bushin that's going to come out soon, our newsletter, of how who I am depends on others. In the West, right, this kind of healthy identity is this singular me-ness. I'm me. Whereas in Buddhism, I think it's a more flexible, complex kind of identity, recognizing that who I am depends on others. And that depending on the context, depending on the circumstances, depending on who I'm talking to or relating to, I take on different aspects. So Halloween is an interesting time to be able to put on a costume, right? To be able to take on a different identity for this one day of the year, maybe a party or something. Right? And yet, maybe it encourages us to see things from another perspective. A lot of times, maybe we get kind of stuck inside ourselves, this singular identity, just me-ness. Right? And oh no, I'm not good at speaking in front of people, or oh no, I'm not good at dancing or whatever, and we kind of attach to these aspects of ourselves. Whereas maybe there's another way to think of seeing things from another perspective and just kind of stepping outside of your comfort zone. And if you feel like I'm not a good speaker, public speaker, for example, you can be like, well, no, let's think about it in a different way. I'm just going to try. I'm going to put myself out there and do this. And that, ability to see things from other perspectives, I think, can help us in how we relate to each other either. Also, so much, we're so polarized in our society right now, huh? And it just seems like this side against that side, us against them, me against you. And if only we could, of course, you have to have your convictions. I think having convictions is good. You got to trust yourself, you trust your instincts, but to also be able to consider another perspective or multiple perspectives even, I think is a good thing. Right? And maybe Halloween can give us this kind of chance, right? To do this, try it on, right? Here we are. We've already passed Ohigan. We're coming in to fall is advancing, and we're approaching winter. It's going to be here before we know it. It felt like it with the storm we had here. We had this big rainstorm. Just, we're not used to that, having been in the drought for several years. But taste of winter, and then it gets back to, it feels like 70s, but we're going to get into winter soon. So it is kind of a transitional period still. So maybe we can think of Halloween as this opportunity, this chance to take on another identity, right? To consider different possibilities. I don't know, I hope it's hard. Going into the holidays can be hard too, though, huh? And it's even harder when we're in a pandemic and we can't necessarily be around other people the way we would like to be. whether that's family, not everyone gets along with family, not everyone has family, right? So to being able to even talk to friends or be around other people, kind of holiday parties or whatever, can be good, but that can be hard too. So take this chance, Halloween, take this chance to maybe consider some other perspectives. Take this opportunity to think about other possibilities. So that as we go into deepening of fall and the beginning of winter, right, that we maybe have also deepened our appreciation of the Dharma, deepened our appreciation of Sangha. I'll just close with this. I did a talk on gratitude for one of the other BCA districts. And talking about gratitude, our bishop, Reverend Marvin Harada, said something about how, during the pandemic, we realized how much we took for granted before. And isn't that kind of the two poles in a way? Gratitude or taking things for granted? Appreciation, right? To appreciate, to have this gratitude and also understanding and awareness is something I think we want to strive for. If we find we are taking things for granted, I think it's okay as long as we realize that, right? So that when we do realize, oh my gosh, I'm taking this for granted, we can also, don't feel guilty and shut down, right? Remember, see things from another perspective. Oh my gosh, how much do I take for granted? And maybe I don't want to be like that. I want to appreciate things deeper. Another opportunity, right? So Halloween gives us this opportunity to reflect on ourselves, reflect on the world around us, maybe take some chances, right? And try and see things from different perspectives. So thank you very much. I'd like to conclude this Halloween Dharma talk with Kansho. Is Halloween Buddhist? Maybe, maybe not, but let's take this opportunity to reflect on ourselves and the world around us and maybe try and see things from some other perspectives. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Namanda. Okay, thank you very much. As far as announcements, we do have an event coming up. Actually, we have a few events. Let's see what we got here. We're going to be having our Eitai Kyo service on the 21st of November. So it's not for another, 3 weeks or so. But our guest speaker will be Reverend Seigen Yamaoka, who is one of my teachers and he was minister here at Buddhist Church of Oakland twice. Kind of unusual for a minister to be assigned at 2 different times in their life. But we're very fortunate to have him as our guest speaker for our Eitai Kyo service on the 21st. Don't forget, next Sunday, daylight savings time ends. So, we'll be sending out our constant contact email to our members and friends, letting you know about our Dharma family service next weekend. And don't forget, we'll remind you about the ending of daylight savings time. We'll also have our Shotsuki video up for next Sunday, November 7th. And then on Saturday, November 20th, we will be having a bento fundraiser. It's coming up quick. We will be sending out soon information on that. So just kind of keep that in mind. Keep an eye out for a flyer, the November 20th. The deadline is going to be November 15th. So if you haven't received anything, you might want to contact the church. Shoot us an email at officebco@gmail.com. And thank you very much, everyone. This will conclude our service. So hope you're having a nice Halloween. And hope to see you more. This is the last day of October, and so hope to see you in November. Okay, why don't we conclude our service with Kansho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Namanda. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the like button for this service, and we'll see you soon. Bye.